Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 103, recorded October 17th, 2018. I am Clyde. Today I am joined by Michael Aston.
Hello everybody.
Jimmy Trammell.
Hello.
And Matthew Ross.
So this is show 103, and there are currently 13 people watching right now. Oh, good. I feel better. I was about to say, we just have to quit the show now. I'm just afraid of the number 13. I was just totally superstitious.
Oh, it dropped
I feel
down
better
to
now.
11. You said that.
I feel better now.
Down.
Apparently,
Thanks.
I needed to say that. So those two people who said, screw this, they don't need to watch us. That's okay. I feel better now.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The pressure's off now.
It's supposed to work with viewers. You want more.
But they could be more than 13. They could be less than
But
13.
you said it's too many, so two people ran away.
Oh, no.
You shamed them into leaving.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm okay. Come back. Just, when number 12,
Well, they can't hear you
from,
now.
Get your buddy to come back with you at the same time so we skip right over 13, please.
Oh, now we've got 10.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
right.
sorry. Hi, I'm Matt. Nice to be here.
Other than Matt's fear of too many viewers, how are you guys doing?
A little tired, a little overworked.
Too much wine.
But hey, nothing that a nice bottle of grape juice won't take care of.
All right.
It's cold here. It's not supposed to be that here. I'm in Texas for a reason, and
Dude,
El
it
Nino.
snowed the other day, and I was so angry. It was like,
it didn't snow here. But on Monday, the weatherman said it was going to be 54 degrees and to stop wearing shorts. Well, it was 43 degrees with a 12-degree wind chill, so it felt like it was literally freezing. And there's a big difference between feels like 30 and 53.
And actually is 30? You mean like how it is here sometimes?
Like it is right now here?
I moved away from the Northwest so that I didn't have to deal with it.
The Northwest. I like that. That's great. I'm going to remember that forever.
Yeah, he left Potato Town for a reason. And it
Well,
wasn't
I
the
lived
potatoes.
I left Vancouver, Washington to go to Potato Town to get away from the rain, and that worked, but it was still cold. And then I moved here to get away from the cold and the rain, and well, it worked until this week. Now we've got lots of cold and way lots of rain.
So what I'm hearing is pretty soon Mike's gonna be streaming from Peru. Or is that too far south? That's too close to Antarctica.
Well, at this time of year, it would be great to go to Peru or someplace because it's summer there, right? So it's the time of
there
year
you
to
go.
get down.
You can go to Australia where Christmas is in the middle of summer.
There you go.
Here's the problem: is you moved away from this area, obviously, but you know how high the temperature hit today? 77 degrees.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
kind of my point, that it's really cold here. It's colder here than most parts of the country, and that's not right.
Well,
Okay.
You could always move down to South Florida. Here in about another 3 or 4 weeks, it'll get cool enough here to where the air conditioners don't run at night.
You want to know what else is not right?
What?
Warner Media is launching a TV service in late 2019.
Whoa! Somebody stole my job.
What?
No, apparently Warner Media has decided that
Nice.
they are making enough money with their HBO services, HBO Go and HBO Now. They feel like they're going to go ahead and make their own streaming service, kind of an over-the-top thing, using some of that HBO packages to deliver the content to streaming viewers. Do we need another one? Does HBO already fill this need with their own streaming services?
No, HBO does not already fill the need, because I, like a lot of people, only watch HBO occasionally for, hey, new Game of Thrones or Ballers or whatever the show is that you like. And then other than that, never even think about entering.
This would also include the Time Warner stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Which
That's why I was saying, yes, they could potentially need this, because HBO does not cover everything.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I think really Clyde's hitting on the right point here, right? HBO currently, for a lot of people that I know at least, is a seasonal pickup. You pick it up for a month or two when Game of Thrones is released, and you pick it up for a month or two when, like, Westworld or whatever other show, Silicon Valley, you really want to watch, and then you binge it, and then you cancel. So I think most people are subscribing to HBO, and probably not most. I mean, there's some that maybe just stick with the subscription to watch their stuff, but I know a lot of people are picking it up, watching their show, canceling, and resubscribing later. The idea, I think, here is that with Time Warner and Turner and Warner Brothers content, they can produce stuff that people are going to want to watch more often and more continually, maintaining those subscriptions and keeping people hooked.
Yeah, so HBO as a standalone, like I said, is not very attractive to me. But if it were packaged with the other stuff, then I'm interested.
I'd be seriously consider it if they streamed all of Animaniacs. I would consider. Although I think it might already be on something else like Hulu or something like that, but I'd still consider it.
But that right there is the one fear that a lot of people have, because the example that they use in this article is that Disney will, going forward, the Marvel movies will not be available on Netflix.
Yep.
Because they are spinning up their own streaming service, so they will hold the rights and only show them there. So what will Warner do the same thing? Will they say, "Oh, this new thing, nope, it's not going to be available anywhere else. You got to come get it from us"?
That is a real serious problem, and if all these various different major content owners go out and make their own streaming services and make it so you can only get it through theirs and have a subscription model for you to access it, I could see this as being a real major problem. So some free advice I would give to Disney and all the other companies like Time Warner: go ahead and have an exclusive on your service. That's fine. And then peddle it out. Let other people get it. Go ahead. That's all right. So just that's what then it would make more sense, because if you want it right away, you want it first, right when it comes out, available on streaming, it's on ours. Otherwise, 6 months later, you'll pick it up on another streaming service.
Alanon points out in the chat that Animaniacs is on Hulu.
Good.
And supposedly a new season is coming as well.
What?
I'm
be very
into
cool.
that, potentially.
Yeah.
If they don't try to retcon everything and reinvent it.
Well,
Right.
it's Animaniacs that kind of retcon everything along the way, kind of. They rewrite the script as it goes.
Yeah, I think when you start to talk about like every major content provider creating their own service, it does get a little daunting when you start to think about how many different services you might have to subscribe to get the content that you want. Though I think that as long as the prices are reasonable, that this comes back to the solution that people like cord cutters have been asking for forever, which is the a la carte solution, right? Mm-hmm. Pick the channels that you want and only pay for what you want. So I'm not afraid of this. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing as long as the prices are reasonable, and the companies are prepared to accept that customers won't be subscribing all the time. It's the HBO model that I described before of, people will subscribe, binge what they want, and cancel. And so you'll get, for maybe January and February, I'll be watching, subscribing to Hulu to get the Hulu originals that get released then, or that got released in the last year even, right? And the only channels that will be consistent or that will get heavy viewership during a specific period are the blockbusters, right? Game of Thrones, people subscribe to it when it gets released and they watch it then. But again, you've got to plan that they're going to cancel once they've binged it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with that. As cord cutting becomes more and more popular, and it is all the time, the idea of these studios or content, makers having their own streaming service. I mean, right now today, I don't know if all of them started doing that right now today. Would that make it too Byzantine for the market? Right. I mean, perhaps, but I think that Mike is onto something there. As long as they keep the price, right about that $5 to $8 mark, somewhere right along in there per subscription, then I think it might do quite nicely.
Yeah, it's one of those things that free market, and if it's good, people will use it. If it isn't, they speak with their money, and it'll go away.
Yeah, that's true. If it's not good enough for people to want to buy, even at $5 level, then it will go away on its own, and it'll fix itself in the long term. I think that this could balloon out of control if it's not careful, and then eventually have to correct itself. But it might be painful in the short term. Well, I don't like it.
I think you're absolutely right. This will almost certainly balloon out of control, and it will correct itself. Because that's the way these kinds of things happen. I mean,
AMC has their own streaming thing.
Yeah, well, look at TV, like live TV streaming services right now. There are way too many to persist long term. Some of them will die out, but that's what happens when a new concept hits the market. Somebody comes out with it, a couple people come along right afterwards, and then you get this massive flood of lookalikes, and I can as well, I do too, and whatever. And then a few months or a few years down the road, the market has corrected itself, and a lot of the people that didn't do as good a job, whether that be the big or the small ones, they go away. The ones that find their niche or that do it really well, they persist and hold on. It will really boil down to the content that they provide, the quality of the service, and the price, right? You got to combine those three things. But in this world, the price will largely be dictated by the rest of the market. Look at the prices on the streaming TV services. It's pretty consistent because that's kind of been figured out. The quality is relatively consistent across all of the services. It's almost like a given it's going to be really good. So it just comes down to content. Companies like Disney won't have a problem because they have lots of great content. Does Turner Time Warner or Turner Warner Brothers? I don't know why I can't get that straight. Turner Warner Brothers.
Turner Brothers.
Turner Brothers.
The Tina Turner
Do they
brothers.
have enough good content to compel people to buy?
All I have to say, we can end this, is one word: CISO. And moving on.
Yeah. All right. Apple Music has decided to team up with Genius, a actual product I wasn't aware of, to provide Apple Music player inside of its lyrics system, so that you can read the lyrics right along while it's playing the Apple Music with your Apple Music account. This has to be because Apple has the Genius bar and their Genius employees, and so they figured that they had to move together with this, right?
I figured that this is because there's a lot of downtime for the people at the Genius bar when they're not actually fixing anything. I think that they've been tasked with writing the lyrics to songs. That's my understanding, right? Jimmy, is that right?
Yeah, I read this story, and so what? I mean, there's already some lyrics tied into the music already. You can already get that on a lot of the music that's out there. But I think what this service does is it takes and kind of interprets what the lyrics is, gives like okay, what was the songwriter meaning with this particular verse, and it gives that kind of extra content along with it, right? So. I wasn't aware of this service either until this article come about, that I read earlier in the week. But but I mean, it sounds interesting. I don't know. I am a subscriber to Apple Music, so I'll probably have to give, when this comes about, I'll give it a try and see, right? See if I like it, but because, hey, maybe I want to know what that deeper meaning that Jim Morrison, wrote in his lyrics when he was with the Doors, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I believe it's live now, isn't it? You can go to their Genius website and try it out whenever you want to. So feel free to try it and let us know.
Now?
So the idea is that you can get your Apple Music played through the website instead of it. So when you're on the website, you could see that you're logged in somehow, and will allow you to use the Apple Music to actually follow along with the lyrics too. It looks like so cool.
Okay, all right.
This looks interesting to me. Never heard of it. I think that it's interesting that they chose a service that none of us have heard of.
Kind of
I've
like
used a
Samsung teamed up with what was that one last week that none of us had heard of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used a million different lyrics services and websites before. They've all pretty much had every song I've been interested in, and yet they used one that I've literally never been to. Of the at least a dozen or 24 lyrics websites I've visited in the past. So I think it's interesting, but it does look good. It's a well-structured website. It works nicely. It is interesting where they have the comments that are added to give a little bit of depth and interpretation. They are not, I don't know. Yeah, they're not.
But I mean, if you're gonna go with, if you've got a bunch of solutions to choose from, obviously you want to go with the smartest one. You go with the Genius, right?
Yeah, and it happens to match branding. Come on, this is all about branding.
No, Apple's not worried about branding.
No, that's all
never.
they think about. They're a branding company. They're an ad company for one thing, advertising for themselves. That's all they're all about. Just like Google's an ad.
That's why that other thing is now with Samsung, because Apple burned Dr. Dre so bad he took his business to Samsung.
Yeah, Tidal. You're thinking about Tidal, right?
Tidal. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Now that story last week makes a lot more sense. All right. What do we got next?
So, you could use Google Assistant to do a bunch of things. In fact, you could use it to tell it to actually control your Android TV. It was able to do lots of those. There's one thing they couldn't do until recently, which is for you to tell it to watch something on Netflix, which now it can. This is kind of a exclusive in a way, because a lot of these other things that you want to control to get Netflix, Netflix doesn't allow that kind of deep linking, at least not anymore. So this is a new frontier. Maybe Netflix is kind of loosening its grip on that kind of deep control. Who knows?
Maybe, because this is the functionality that I was missing that was originally tied into the Google TV, where you could go into the Showtime app on the Google TV and it would show you, if you just searched for a specific show, you pick an episode and it would show you everywhere it was available. You click on it, it would take you into the app and directly to play the video, right? That went away. If that deep linking was not available, then that kind of helps to explain why when I was angry, where did it go? But I'm glad it's back, because I do like my Android TV, and I'm warming up to the idea of talking to the home and saying, play something for me. Now that you can actually watch something, you can say, "Hey, I want to watch Maniac."
Mm-hmm. And it should work. That's the cool thing.
One thing I will say, if anybody goes into the show notes and finds the link to this article, this is a terribly written article. The person that wrote this article doesn't understand the difference between a Chromecast and an Android TV. They wrote this with thinking, it's like, why does this matter? Because they're essentially the same thing. And yeah,
it's okay. The lay people don't understand what the difference is, anyways.
Yeah, but if you're going to be a tech journalist for Engadget, you might want to understand the difference between a Chromecast and an Android TV. That's all I have to say.
Okay. So Hulu has been having their CEO Randy Freer been having interviews with various people, and they had one with the information where he said that they are looking into the idea of a cheaper live streaming service versus their $40 one. Right now, the $40 is the cheapest way to get the live TV, and they are looking at possibly making one that's still going to have your locals and maybe a couple other little channels on there, but. The idea is to come in under that standard $40 amount. Now, this is all mostly speculation, but would you guys be interested in just a cheaper Hulu Live experience? Maybe even, is it possible, no actual access to the rest of the Hulu library?
I will never give up access to Hulu because that's my go-to. But I have held off on the Hulu Live because I don't really care enough about the live TV to pay the price, which is why I'm using the YouTube TV for just my DVR. If they're going to a skinnier bundles where channels that I would actually DVR were available, then I might consider it. Jimmy, you use YouTube TV. I mean, you use Hulu Live.
Yep.
Would you consider going to a slimmer package if it still gave you?
Yeah, I mean, I do pay for it, but I have to admit I don't really watch that much live television, right? I mean, it's always either the video on demand or the DVR stuff that I record on the DVR functionality, right? So I mean, that's about most of what I watch. Occasionally there'll be something live. There might be a football game on Sunday or Saturday, something like that I might want to watch that happens to be on. But I'm like you, Clyde. I don't use the live feature all that much. So, depending would I use this. I mean, it all comes down to price and how many channels do I get with that price, right? I mean, it's always price and content. You get the right mix there, then I could be game for this.
I find it hard now to engage even with the DVR and scheduling to record shows. And even the shows that I do choose to record, I find it difficult to use. I mean, I have Hulu or I have YouTube TV now for Boise State football. That's all I really watch on it. I have a couple other shows scheduled to record, but I don't actually watch them hardly ever. I kind of forget about it. I go back to the shows that I want to watch, YouTube, mostly on Netflix and stuff on YouTube, right? I'm watching the vast majority of my stuff in those two places. And really, I think for me, YouTube is becoming more and more my source of entertainment. With various podcasts and stuff like that, it's hard for me to find the time to try even watching most of the shows that are coming that I'm missing on Fox and whatever major channels.
So here's what I really love about the YouTube TV DVR experience, and you just have to think of, I used to love this old show. Go into there, search for that old show, it'll find it, and just tell it to record, because you have infinite space, and it doesn't matter, it'll hold on for 9 months plus, right? That means later on, when you're bored to death and you don't know what to watch, and I flip on the TV and I go into my YouTube and I go into my library and I go, oh, that's right, I told it to record the original series of Star Trek. Yeah. I've got all these episodes to watch for free, and it's just like flip, flip, that would be fun. That was about a city on the edge of forever. I love that episode. Let's watch
Although, allow me to be the contrarian.
that. Uh-oh.
The thing that I absolutely hate about YouTube TV's DVR is that even if it's something you've already watched, it considers it as new when it records a new version of it. So, like, you'll go into your library and it says there's 2 new episodes. No, they're like really old episodes that I've already seen.
But they've been
At least
newly
be
recorded.
smart enough to know that, even Hulu knows that, oh no, you've watched this stuff. There's nothing new for you. You know?
It would be nice to have a newly recorded section and a new episode. To have a distinction between the two. I agree.
Yeah, that is one cool feature about Hulu. It'll like say if you're up to date, it'll say all caught up. It'll tag it with all caught up on the series.
Although something did happen with Hulu proper recently where it seems to have forgotten, even though I go into it, it'll say there's like, hey, start watching this show with episode 1. Let's say Fresh Off the Boat. I've watched all 5 seasons on Hulu, and if you go in there, you see on each of the episodes it shows that I've watched it, but in my library it says there are like 83 episodes unwatched. Start watching this, and it wants me to start from the beginning, and I'm like, no. I hate that. I don't like the clutter. When I look at a screen, I want to be able to know, yes, I have seen that. Yes, there is a new episode. That's all I care about.
The shows, do you save it to My Stuff in Hulu?
Yeah, that's the only place, because the watch list is worthless. The watch list is just what it wants me to watch, not what I actually would watch.
And you work off the My Stuff. That's what I do as well.
Yeah, because I've been using the My Stuff since the beginning, so that's always been there. But yeah. Any additional thoughts, Mike, before we move on? No? Okay.
All right. Facebook has been doing their brand new streaming service online that's called Watch, if anybody remember or even has used that. I don't know if anybody here has. But they've been deciding that they're going to be producing some new content. And anybody remember MTV's The Real World? Yeah, there you go. It was a show.
I remember it.
I remember it too. It was one of the very first reality TV shows, and they are going to be making a new season of the Real World on Facebook's Watch streaming service. So you will be able to watch it on your Facebook page whenever you want. Also, there will be special Facebook pages where you will be able to see profiles of the various cast members on the show. I don't know about this. This seems like
I number one, I'm kind of glad they didn't have this in the 90s. Because
they did. It was called The Real World.
Well, no. They didn't have the Facebook integration.
Oh, okay.
Because now imagine, go back to the 90s when that Pedro guy announced that he had AIDS. How many people would have been connecting directly to him, telling him, you deserve it, or terrible things?
So here's the thing. I mean, the reason I sat there for the first few seconds, like, the only thing that could be worse than The Real World was for TV is The Real World integrated with Facebook. This is the only thing that could have been worse for TV. I mean, TV has given us a lot of awful things. Think Jerry Springer's show, The Real World, Tom Green.
Puck. He was on The Real World, which is terrible.
And then, Jersey Shores, all of, like... This is like a train wreck with an airplane crash,
but it makes sense.
Flood and a hurricane all hitting at the same time.
Because the Facebook guy was a kid when The Real World was airing, and he probably this is like, if you had a chance, you grew up and like you got your company could team up with Chips. Yes. Do it, or Airwolf, or the A-Team, or insert your favorite thing.
Yeah, yeah. To
Yeah,
me, it's a
terrible.
reality show integrated with a computer virus.
Well, this is the show that created reality, the scourge known as reality TV. Reality. Yeah, I let it die. Just kill it. Leave it for dead.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. I am in no way interested in this. I don't know how well it's going to work. Considering
Being
nobody.
Facebook, there are going to be thousands and thousands of people viewing the video because how Facebook counts their numbers on the video watches, right? So it's going to be super popular. So
I feel like there's something you're burying there. Maybe we'll get to it later.
sorry, nasty taste in my mouth. Sorry. Ugh. So we were watching YouTube TV last night, and we were about to watch the first pitch.
Not the whole night you weren't.
For the first pitch of the Dodgers and Brewers game, and just before the first pitch, bam! Our internet television went down. In fact, so did YouTube, and so did YouTube Music. Although I don't use YouTube Music, so I don't know how that one works. But yeah, it was down for us for about 40 minutes before it came back, and it's a pretty big outage. We have no real news about why it came back, why it went down. So, this is a big outage for a lot of people.
Gremlins.
Last night, I sat in this chair right here and stared at my TV, wondering what the hell I was supposed to do. Come on!
Did you bang on the TV?
Yeah.
You know?
And then I got up and I sat at my computer and I was like, load the videos! Load the videos! And I pull on my phone, load the videos! Load the videos! Come on! What am I going to do?
40,000 videos queued up by Michael.
This
is why it took so long.
MB nailed it. They hit the wrong button when deleting Google Plus. Oh, Google Plus.
I love
Oops.
Google. Sorry.
Somebody make that a show title.
Somebody should. All right. So apparently, if you guys have been noticing, there's been a lot of streaming services coming out recently. There's not just streaming services for watching TV, but also there's been a lot of work onto getting streaming services for various video games. There's been a lot of talk about this new Google Stream project that they've had, where you could sign up for the beta test of what is it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a very high-end game for
You can be a bird.
You can be a bird, and you can be an assassin, and you can be a bird with an assassin with a bird.
An
and you
assassin
can
bird.
That would be
That was
great.
like the scary version of Sesame Street.
But anyways, this is streamed through your browser, through Chrome, and with almost no lag at 720p. And and the test apparently has been bonkers good. At the same time, you've had the various PlayStation Now streaming going on the PlayStation devices, and you've had now we have this announcement from Xbox about the Xbox Cloud, which is going to be streaming from the cloud from Quincy, Washington.
Not
by
from
the way.
Mixer.
No. Don't give the kids a mixer. Don't give the kids a mixer. And also, in Japan on your the Nintendo Switch, they've actually been streaming a couple games, including Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to the Switch because it can't handle the that powerful of a game on that little console. But this is becoming a real serious medium for getting video games, and it will be the future will be streamed, as they might say, although I don't think maybe it will be
they said the revolution will be televised.
no, the revolution will be streamed.
But yeah,
Well,
Mike, I think you're more interested in this than I am.
I would really love to hear what you guys think about this concept of video game streaming.
I'm honestly super excited about it. So I currently have sitting over here a $1,200, $1,300 desktop that's really outdated because I bought it like 3 years ago, or built it 3 years ago. And then on the other side, I have a very nice MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro cost significantly more than the desktop, but it doesn't play video games as well. Even now, with this being like 3 months old and the desktop being 3 years old, the desktop still blows away the laptop. It's still, and while it's a lot cheaper, it still costs $1,300, and I can't take it everywhere I want to go. Whereas this MacBook Pro weighs like 3 pounds, and I can take it anywhere, and it gets pretty decent battery life. So the idea of being able to play video games on any device, no longer needing this desktop, well, except for maybe for streaming, podcasting and stuff, that's super compelling to me. And the idea that I don't have to keep continually upgrading to multi-$1,000 or multiple $1,000 graphics cards to play the latest game or whatever, at the best settings, it's pretty compelling. Now, go ahead.
No, go.
The only thing I was going to say is, what about VR? So,
It's coming.
Yeah, if they can start streaming VR as well, then this becomes immensely compelling. And
VR is just two streams, one for each eye, so you're fine.
I will say, if this works, that is good news for Apple users, because they can finally play video games on their expensive PCs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very true. I mean,
I couldn't help myself on that one.
The thing is that while there are options for playing video games on my MacBook Pro, which I bought purely for work, there are potentially options for it. It's just not a great experience, because at the very least, it's not a great experience because the graphics card in there is just not strong enough for high-end modern games, despite the fact that I have the absolute top-of-the-line MacBook Pro. Games are just, nowadays, they're just power hungry. They'll take everything you can throw at them and more. And
so, I mean, I know you get better graphics with that, but is the experience that much better than, say, the $300 gaming console?
Yeah.
So the answer to that question is sort of. Yeah, if you want 4K, you're not buying the $300 console, you're buying the $500 one. But still, $500 versus a $1,500 machine. Let's just compare those two real quick. You could still get better graphics and better fidelity and better feeling out of a PC, absolutely. But let's talk about streaming here for a second. I think this is going to be the future. It's always been my thought. Is that they're going to figure out a way, just like right now, when you want to stream a song, you can stream it from the internet, or you can download the song and have it played locally on your machine, on your device. Basically, you will have the option of having an offline version if you want. I think this will be the truth with games too. I think what will happen is, hey, I'm on my phone and I want to play this game. It'll talk to over the air with the service and say, yes, the phone currently has enough internet bandwidth to do the streaming of the game at this resolution, and your phone is capable of doing it. We're enabled and we're going. Here we go. We're going to start playing the game that way. And then you decide to come to your PC, your full-fledged PC, and say, I want to play the same game. It'll say, hey, this machine's got all the beef and all the nuts to do everything you need it to do. We're going to have to bring the whole game to it. It'll be fully run here, and you'll only be using internet for any kind of multiplayer or server access. So I think we're going to see a smart enough clients in the future where you will be able to do either or. That will be the future.
They refer to that as a hybrid.
Yes, and I think it will be much more broken down to, oh, this phone is not capable of doing this thing, but it is able to do these things, so we're going to go ahead and send you these bits here because that's easier for it to do, but we'll stream the rest.
Which is exactly what Hearthstone does. The version of Hearthstone that's on your phone is slightly different because it's scaled down and the bells and the whistles are taken out so that it can perform as expected on the phone. And
so the great thing about the streaming solution is that you have to do that less and less, right? Like the more that is done off the service, the more you can handle. So for most games, the vast majority of the complexity is in the rendering of the scene, and communication of actions and stuff like that is trivial amounts of data flying back and forth at extremely high speeds. So, if everything is rendered and handled remotely, you have very little that you need to pare down. You get to the point where, even simple tablets and maybe even phones can handle high-end 3D games. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree with what you said, Matt, that there will still probably always be standalone services for most games, at least certain genres of games like FPS, first-person shooters, because there will be people that will not sacrifice the extra 30 to 40 milliseconds to go both directions, to get it and then send the response. They'll only take sending out the response. And for those people, the extra 30 or 40 milliseconds or whatever they might be incurring in lag to go bi-directional won't be acceptable.
Yeah.
All right.
So one last story for tonight. We have a story about Facebook and something about their ad service and how they really kind of messed up their numbers. Oh, look, just the thing we always thought. They basically were lying about their numbers, about videos being streamed on Facebook, everybody. And the ad companies are very upset with them because they were using that information to try to sell more ads to the ad companies.
That is totally the face of someone caught in a lie.
That is
It's probably a picture taken out of context, but it does work.
He really does look like Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. My goodness, I've seen those pictures and they're just so good. He's just, I don't know. It's just so.
Dare you besmirch the name of Data?
I know. I wouldn't be the first one, but that's okay. Anyways, this is important because they've been claiming for years now that they've had these humongous numbers of people who watch the videos on Facebook, and we all knew that didn't quite make sense to us because okay, what is 3 seconds to you? Is 3 seconds, and so some people have actually gone in and looked at some internal information from Facebook, from their records, and said, actually, no, it's like 80% less, 60-80% less of that than what the guys are saying. So. I, as usual with Facebook, take everything they say and do with a huge grain of salt.
My favorite part about this article is where they point out that the company told some advertisers that they overestimated the average time spent watching the videos by 60 to 80%. But
that's a pretty
it sounds like it
yeah,
may actually be as much as 900%.
Yeah.
So not only did they overestimate for the advertisers, they way underestimated, or they lied even bigger the other direction to how much they were lying. That is
Facebook Inc. is there's a Facebook Inc. is the company name and their initials are FBI. Don't trust them.
I believe, and I've been saying for a little while that I believe Facebook is in its death throes. We're at the point where they are about to alienate everybody that is still there.
Wait a second.
Can you
go ahead?
Sorry, mine's. Can you pull back up the screen? The screen of the article.
The 666 shares.
I think that's coincidence.
Nope,
I don't think so.
I brought that up for Matt because I didn't know if that correlates with his 13 at the beginning.
Just in time for Halloween.
Oh man. Oh man.
But
just can't handle this.
Oh, I guess that's at the top. Only 24 comments, 666 shares. But yeah, I don't know how much longer Facebook is gonna be dominant because I don't use it anymore. I still have an account because there's certain people that's the only way I can communicate with them, like my dad. But I do not use it for anything else.
Okay, so I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
If Facebook goes away and Google Plus is going away, and really, well, for the sake of argument, what was the name of that? The previous service that was now music all related.
MySpace.
MySpace. It's pretty much gone.
Oh yeah.
GeoCities disappeared years ago. YouTube's gone. You mean AOL's gone?
People are realizing that being social is not actually good for you.
Where the hell is everybody going to go?
I mean, that's
Amazon will probably spin up a service.
Oh God, no!
Prime.
That's somewhat true, Clyde. That people are finding that social media is not good for you. Literally, it's not good for you. There's actually been a lot of research about this, but more than that, it's an evolution, right? Facebook is the way we, when we were younger, communicated, and maybe even people a few years younger than us. But it's an evolution, right? You know, there's a lot more text messaging now, using various kinds of text messaging apps that keep threads and that do things like that. You've got things like Snapchat and Instagram. They're just changing the way they deal with social interactions and social media. It's not going away. They are just the younger generations are just doing it differently. Now, I'm not younger, so I don't really know all the details, but I do know that my nieces, for example, don't really use Facebook much anymore. They use other things.
My kids probably never will.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are other ways that they interact socially with each other, and there's lots of options out there. It's more diffuse too, right? Like things like Instagram. Instagram is for images mostly, and Snapchat is for chatting mostly. And so you get, or maybe it's for like quick videos or something like that. I don't know. But Marco Polo is one that's really popular for quick recorded videos that are sent. Much like instant message, but video.
Marco Polo is a video walkie-talkie. For those of you that don't know, it is insane, the right way to describe it. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of different ways for social interaction to continue. All of these systems have some way of remembering and or intentionally forgetting the social interactions that you have. Facebook is going to go away unless they really change the way things are going on for them.
I still think Amazon's going to come up with a social media service. I mean, you buy all your stuff from there, then why not talk with your friends while you're in there shopping?
The difference is the Echo. You don't have to go to the website. The Echo is just going to tell you, "Hey, while you were at work, so and so said this. Would you like to respond?"
Bingo.
As soon as the Echo says, "Hey, that was funny. Shall I post that on your site?" Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, you can drop in on people now, which is a way to basically do a echo to echo phone call. There's a variety of features already built in, but yeah, that's absolutely correct. I'm sure that's going to happen more and more, and they'll become more and more the means to social interaction.
Or it's like with Google Home, you can broadcast. So
yeah, that broadcast is fine. But did you say drop in as in? It's like they would see you. You would see them without you actually asking to turn on the camera.
No, it's literally just like a phone call. You say, "Hey, such and such. Hey, capital A. Drop in on such and such," and then it rings to them, and they are given the choice to answer. So they hear like,
that's fine. I'm sorry, but when you say drop in, it sounds like you're kind of coming in.
Yeah, that's their choice of how they called it.
Yeah, it's not a good.
It's a bad name, but it's literally a phone call through your Echo. That's but that's too mundane seeming, right? So they came up with something they thought was clever and catchy, but it kind of sounds creepy because
Totally bad. No, don't drop in. No, you can't drop in.
I just like
You're not allowed.
broadcast because there's no warning. It just starts speaking whatever you recorded.
Yep.
So I
Whole house.
can see it to everything in the house. The Android TV, all of the homes. Yeah.
It's so good for saying it's bedtime or it's time for dinner or all kinds of things like what's
Stop
taking so long.
doing that. Wait, how? I'm not nice. Well, Facebook, we've always known they're liars. You know who is not a liar?
the
All
VOD squad.
of our amazing patrons.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
that is right. We are now supported by patrons. They make this show possible. I mean, there's a lot of things that we've wanted to do that we just haven't been able to. There's a lot of things that we're gonna do, like we're going to CES. I need to buy a Cavo to try that out. There's other new devices, platforms, and stuff that we want to try, do some deep reviews, and the patrons are making that actually, a little bit closer to a reality. If you've wanted to, if you're not currently a patron and you've wanted an audio feed of this show, it's there. $1 level, you get your own custom RSS audio feed that is uploaded usually with as of the last 2 weeks within a couple hours of the end of this show. So yeah, if you are not currently a patron, we wish that you would consider it. If you are a patron, you already know that you're awesome, but we will still tell you that you are awesome.
You do pay us money. We're here to say, dude, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Dudettes too.
Awesome.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then on that,
Thanks to all the patrons, and MBeam has posted the web link into the chat room.
Patreon.com/The VOD Squad. I know it's kind of weird how that works, but all right. Well, hey, should we check in with the big voice, Jay?
Yes, please.
Oh, I gotta kick it. I forgot to.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of October 15th, 2018. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for herpes. Somehow it got upgraded to first class. Let's go to the scoreboard. Teams Game Night and Have a Drink are all tied for last place. Team VOD Squad's found some Goosebumps fans out there. They've also found fourth place with $17.8 million. Team Movie Party's First Man and Bad Times at the El Royale combined were third place and $28 million. And Across the Chasm is second place. And Team Drunk Kids Gaming with $148 million. And continuing to harness the power of A Star is Born and Night Jewel for first place with $162.4 million, it's Team Retro Misery. That's your Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of October 17, 2018.
I have to give Drunk Kids Gaming credit. They own Venom, right? Or is it Ritual
Yes,
Misery?
they do.
Yeah.
No, it's Drunk Kids Gaming.
For as bad as Venom is, it is making way more money than I think anybody thought it would. By summer standards, 148 million is terrible. But by winter standards, that is a blockbuster. So,
No, I figured it was going to do decently, so I'm surprised.
well, but yeah, if it was good, it would do decently. But that's the paradox here. It is not a good movie, but it's actually doing pretty good. But I think it's after 2 weekends, it's not going to make a whole lot more money. Did any of you see Venom?
No.
I saw it when last week with my Cinemia, so it was free. Again, I had no problem going to it because I could say screw it, get up and walk out. I didn't walk out, but there is in the movie. It could have been a really good movie. No, there was two things that I noticed when I was watching it. Number one, I apparently had no idea who Tom Hardy was. Because when he was on screen, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I knew the name. I thought I knew who he was. And then when he was talking, I can't tell, does he always sound like a moron? Or is he just intentionally trying to sound like a moron? I don't know what's going on. And then number two, they had this really cool chase scene through the streets of San Francisco that was probably about a quarter of the movie, but it was almost completely out of focus.
Oh.
They couldn't bother to focus the freaking camera. And they saw it and they said, crap, we got to throw that away. Oh, we don't have anything else to put into the movie. Okay, I guess put it in there. Most of it is either motion blur, and if it's not motion blur, it's just out of focus camera, and it is terrible. The rest of the movie, it had its moments.
Well, so speaking of Venom, and I think it will actually continue to make money over the course of the winter because, when you want a big, you don't have any big other Marvel movies coming up until much later. What's the next one coming out in this thing? I don't think we have one.
Well, you've got Aquaman coming.
Not Marvel, but
I know it's not Marvel, but it is your big rock'em sock'em action popcorn kind of thing.
Sure.
The other thing that would potentially fill that would be
Fantastic Beasts.
I was going to say the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, but yes,
Fantastic Beasts. But Venom's done pretty well. I suspect they will crack 200 million.
It might.
I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, I think it's stretching.
I think
as well.
that 160 is going to be their cap.
So, what do you think Goosebumps 2 will do?
I think you already did it.
You think it'll go hit 30?
I think it'll hit 30. This one, I think, will have legs because it will continue through Halloween.
Yeah, it'll die. October 31st, it's done.
Yes, I think it dies on October 31st. But next weekend, I think it might actually do better than this weekend because of the fact that, it was up against a pretty good movie in The First Man. The First Man.
No, it was up against two. It was up against two great movies. Because everybody went to see A Star Is Born and Venom.
No, I thought you were talking about Bad Times at the El Royale.
See, that's another one that it will benefit from,
time.
From time.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, did you get to see it, Clyde?
Not yet. I'm hopefully going to see it soon. I tried to see it the other day, but we'll talk about that.
I am so happy that Goosebumps 2 did almost as well as First Man, quite frankly. I think that is a triumph of Goosebumps and a real super failure of First Man.
Well, First Man, that's not a failure. That's just, like I said, bad timing. But this is a movie that has like Oscar buzz that is going to keep going. If anything has legs, it's First Man. And everybody that has seen it has been like, yes. If you didn't think about going to see this movie, go see it. And that's exactly what you need. So this, I think, this is going to be like Gravity was 4 years ago, where it came out and it didn't really, but it kept getting extended. It kept getting extended, and it was like still in the theater in February, making more money. And it ended up being, I don't think it's going to go quite that long, but I think it's going to be in theaters a lot longer, probably up till Christmas. And
so
it's got some time.
So next weekend we have Halloween coming out. And we're supposed to have Serenity coming out, which is one of our movies, but it's not coming out. No. That movie is moved to January 25th, I think.
Well, at least that's still in the movie. It's still in
Barely.
the season.
25th. That's
you-
practically February.
Well, you've got the 4 weeks and plus the 4 weeks after the 14th, so you've got 8 weeks to make money.
Yeah, but didn't we lose another show as well? Like,
Yes.
what in the world is up with the movies we picked? They're all like cursed to come out
no,
late.
that was only one other movie. That one got replaced. This one isn't getting replaced. It just got moved to a different date.
Oh, so what did they do for us for Robin Hood? I didn't.
No. Robin Hood we still have. What we lost was Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, right.
And they gave us
Vice.
Vice.
Well, that's the
Which
Dick
is-
Cheney story, so you're going to make tons of money.
It could, and it could be a horrible thing. I don't know.
That is not a fair trade.
So-
I do recommend that everybody go watch the trailer for Vice and be amazed at the fact that
Christian Bale.
is Christian Bale and realize that and go, oh my god.
Here's the one thing, and you can take this however you want, but I thought it was very interesting that the way when they filmed this movie, they had planned on going a completely different route, to the fact that they filmed a big musical number with the entire cast and then decided, oh no, yeah, let's just make this a serious movie, and they cut that out, and they cut out all the funny stuff. So this was supposed to be like I think a funny kind of silly movie, and they said, we're going to dial that back. Although I do want to see that musical number. I'll probably never see this movie, but I want to see the musical number that got cut.
Well, when we picked, I felt like we had a really good possible chance at getting first place. Definitely top 3. When we lost Alita Battle Angel, I became skeptical. I thought that was an important part of our slate. Getting Vice in its place doesn't help me feel better. And now with Serenity coming out significantly later, I didn't think Serenity was going to be very big, but
it'll have a better chance in January, I think.
Possibly.
Because it was going to be up against a lot of
But we'll only get like 2 weeks of it.
No, you're going to get the whole thing. Because
we're supposed to get 4 weeks worth.
The season doesn't end until Valentine's Day, February 14th, so you've got a month. And then 4 weeks after that.
Oh, I guess I when I just looked over the list, I didn't realize that we had anything that came out in January other than that. Glass is
January
the only thing.
18th is Glass.
Okay.
So
yeah, that threw me off. Okay. So I guess that helps. It's still I still don't think it's.
But
I still think we're hurting because of loss of Alita.
One thing I will say to your credit is I now know what Welcome to Morrowind is.
Oh yeah?
That could make you some money. Have you seen the Have you watched the trailer for it?
I did watch the trailer for it. It looks amazing.
It does. And when I had no idea what it was when we did the draft, and now I'm like, dude, you guys got that for $10?
Yes, we did.
I probably would have bid that up had I realized.
It's got a lot. And I mean a
and
lot.
It's based on
it's
based on a true story. It's based on that character and how he used his art to deal with his
PTSD.
Yeah, and so it's that whole go see it with your wife and get
it's that one or
points.
go see Holmes and Watson.
Yeah. And your wife's not going to go see Holmes and Watson. So you're going to see...
I don't know. It depends on if your life likes that stuff.
I'm
see the trailer for that one?
In the royal yore. Most of you out there know that if you have that choice, you're going to end up seeing Welcome to Morrowind.
Have you seen the trailer for
Yes.
Holmes and Watson?
Yes, I have. And
Would you
I
like some
know,
hair?
and because I took my ex-wife to several of those movies, and she's now my ex-wife. So
There you go.
don't follow my example. Learn from my
Oh.
example. So
I agree. I think, when I watched Holmes and Watson, I felt like I needed that 2 minutes back for my life. I can't imagine a 2-hour movie.
So,
All right.
alrighty. Well, let's get into rants and raves. What do we got? What do we got, guys? Who wants to take it away?
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to rant or rave about to me. Watching Boise State football, always great, even though they're not doing as hot this season as I would like. And watching a lot of YouTube stuff. Guess what? There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. It's not all just cat videos and whatnot. There's a lot of people making really awesome stuff. So really enjoying finding new things and watching new stuff.
I, for a good several months, found myself not watching anything but YouTube because there was so much good stuff for you to watch out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find yourself fully entertained for free on YouTube. Feel free and do it. So
the biggest problem I have is that I get into like a rabbit hole. Like, there's a martial arts video on, such and such. And then you just like keep following it deeper and deeper and deeper. And then like you look at the clock and you're like, oh, geez, it's 1:30 in the morning. I probably ought to go to bed at some point.
Okay, so M Beam just mentioned a couple he listens to. I watched the 8-Bit guy too. Like he comes out with a new video. I love that guy.
AVE is pretty funny.
There's all kinds of good stuff out there that you can watch and keep yourself entertained with.
Yep.
So
Demolition Ranch is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Check it out.
I watch there's a guy who basically tortures phones for a living. He literally scratches them and burns them, and it's jury rig everything. So he'll take all the phones that come out and torture them, and then take them apart, and that's kind of fun to watch too. So for me, the only thing I have to say is that I was looking at all this, watching the games with my wife on YouTube TV, and we had the outage. And so I was like, oh man, so I decided, hey, let's see if it's out on my phone. So I pulled up the game on my phone. And an interesting thing happened. They have, based on the games, on the baseball games, since they're on the final series, they actually have like stats and scores and all kinds of stuff embedded into the app now. So if you want to be watching the game on your device, and you can actually get a lot more information. So I hope that they do a lot more of this. This is a cool feature that I didn't know they were doing.
Cool.
Very cool.
Jimmy?
And for me, so I was surfing around on Netflix the other day, and I noticed that they're coming out with this new second season of this kind of reality type shows called The Making of a Murderer. I watched the first season of that, and and it just once you get to watching that, it just kind of sucks you in. And earlier this week too, I was watching Cord Killers, and I think it was Brian Brushwood made an analogy of that type of show, and I think he was spot on, right? And he said that kind of show is somewhere between a reality show and news, right? And I think he was spot on with that analogy. But I really liked the first season, and I agree with what he says. But for some reason or another, I just find those kind of shows entertaining, right? And probably as soon as this is released, it may be released now. I can't remember the release date. If it's not released, it'll be released soon. And I'll probably go in there and watch the second season of this show as well. So found that to be interesting.
Yeah, and as I started to talk about earlier, last week I complained and I yelled at Sinemi and said, hey, it's been almost 2 weeks, activate my account. And I found out I got an email during the show that said my account has been activated. So apparently they
were watching the show.
So Sinemi, if you're watching, thank you. We appreciate it. You'll get more.
And then I went to go use it and found out that it is kind of kludgy. And, the thing I really liked about MoviePass is that you've just got the app on your phone. You say, I'm at the theater. What movie do you want to watch? And you click the thing, and then you go, boop. And then you use your card. You're in. With Cinemia, I have to go someplace, figure out what's playing, what time, go into the app, pick the theater, say, I want to watch this movie at this time. Okay, well, here's a credit card number, and then I have to go back to someplace else to purchase the ticket, like through Fandango or whatever. And it's just like, this is a pain. So, I don't know.
Is it worth the idea of you going to go watch movies whenever you want?
I'm definitely the hoops that you have to jump through. I think it really more than what I'm interested in. So we'll see. I'm now paying at least, hoops are fine when you're paying $10 a month. When you're paying 30, they say it's 30, but it ends up I was charged 60 something with fees and whatever. I don't know.
How'd to get that high?
Probably
I
startup
don't know,
fees.
and I need to figure that out. But because I saw that after the fact, I went, wait, whoa, it was like $65. And if that's a monthly thing, that is definitely not
Too much.
Not for all the hoops that you have to jump through. So,
you better see 6 movies a month to get that.
Well, I mean, I would see, pretty much everything. But I don't know. We'll see. So tune in next week for the continuing saga of Clyde and movie subscriptions.
Clyde.
I mean, but that's what I used. That's why I saw Venom. Was I wanted to see Bad Times at El Royale, but it took me so long that I wasn't going to be able to make that last showing because trying to figure out how to use it and get a ticket. So I went with the latest show I could find, which was Venom. And then the other day, I decided, okay, I've got some free time. I'm on my way home anyway. And I tried, so the first time I used a desktop computer, so I was able to use the app and, do the stuff on the computer. But then I'm sitting in my car at a restaurant, or after I'm leaving a restaurant, saying, hey, well, I can't figure out what's playing where because it doesn't have a good theater. That was one thing MoviePass had. They had a great theater integration map. So you could just choose where you're at, click a theater, and then see all of their showtimes. You can't really do that in Cinemia. You sort of can, but it's not as integrated. And then I finally just gave up, and I just went home. So, alrighty. Well, we should probably wrap this thing up. I want to say thank you to everybody that came and hung out with us. Just a reminder, there are titles that need to be voted for. If someone would throw that remind up in the chat, you head on over to tbs.showbot.tv and vote for your favorite title. If you're watching live, stick around for the post show, and we'll go through that, and we'll maybe chat about something else. But if you are not watching us live, if you're watching this after the fact, you should watch us live. We do this every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central on Twitch, and just search for the Bod Squad. Otherwise, if you'd like to, if you got a dollar bit, you don't really know what to do with it, just sitting there, burning a hole in your pocket. Yeah, you throw that to us over on patreon.com/the Bod Squad. And if you want to reach out to us, questions, comments, pretty much anything, at the VOD Squad on Twitter. And just a reminder to any of you that are interested in the Diamond Club movie party, we will be having our October party this Saturday at 10 p.m. Central. The poll is up right now on Twitter. It will run out in the morning, and then we will have our 2 movies that we're going to watch. So if you'd like to have a say and you haven't voted yet, get on over to Twitter at DC Movie Party and get your votes in. If you're not going to join us, you can vote anyway. All right. Well,
A website for DC Movie Party?
what's that?
Do you have a website for DC Movie Party?
It's movieparty.net. All information you need is there. Movieparty.net.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, guys, thank you. And we will see you next week.
Laters.
Bye.
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 Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.